What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm so glad to be back. Between Two Sticks finally making its return. RTC, I see you in the chat. What's up, dude? Yeah, like looking forward to this show. So two new things for this. First of all, I'm going to try to do this as a video conversation. This is the first time I've tried this, and I am sure something is going to go wrong. And then with that, like normally our guests on this show are LG members, and this time around it's going to be a little bit different. So look forward to kind of seeing what everybody's thoughts are, and and see how it's taken here. So as always, your host, Big Kahuna 03. What's going on, everybody? Sitting in a different chair today, and that's just because I couldn't figure out how to swap the videos. And that's just the way we're going to start this show. Joining me now, though, he is the former assistant and captain of the Niagara Ice Dogs. He currently plays defense for the Cincinnati Cyclones. He's a player I'm grateful to say that I had an opportunity to coach in my very early coaching career. Welcome to the show, Dakota Betts. Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for doing this today.
Not too bad. How about you? It's a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I know we've been trying to make this work over the last little while, but both of us have very, very busy schedules, and we finally got to make it work. So I'm glad we're able to do this.
Yeah, me too.
Right on. So always start my show by asking the guest to give us one random or interesting fact about yourself.
I'm not really an interesting guy, but definitely an interesting fact about me could be I used to play baseball. I was a pretty good ball player up until I was about 12, 13 years old. I played AAA baseball, and I kind of had to make the decision either if I wanted to keep playing baseball or focus on hockey more. And I just had more love for the game for hockey, so I ended up quitting baseball and focusing on hockey. And here I am today.
Probably a good decision. Probably one of your best decisions you made, eh?
For sure, yeah.
Right on, man. Speaking of hockey, so how old were you when you started playing hockey?
Um, in a league, I think I was about 6 years old. That was my first year at house league, and then I think when I was five, I had a year of mini watts, I call it. But before that, I ended up starting to skate when I was like two or three. My dad had me out in the pond. He used to live in Niagara Falls, made a pond out in my cousin's backyard, and we used to be on the pond all the time in the winter time. And I think from there, my dad just he just showed me hockey, and I think that's where we all got hockey from. Everyone that plays hockey is our parents, and he made me fall in love with the game. And yeah, I just have had a love for it for ever since.
That's awesome. Did you fall in love with it right away, or was there a certain age that you can remember you're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I was younger, I was about two, even before I even started skating. My dad had mini sticks, and I was running around, barely could walk, and I had a mini stick in my hand playing with my dad. So yeah, from a young age, I definitely fell in love with it there. But even more as I got older, I definitely knew it was something I wanted to keep doing the rest of my life, and something I never want to take out of it. So
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I knew we were gonna get this in the chat pretty much right away. There is a lot of Bills fans that are love watching this
yeah.
show, and they're making comments on the hat saying bets for MVP because of that bucket you got on.
Yeah, you should have worn my Josh Allen jersey too.
No, you want to keep repping that Niagara jersey behind you. Don't worry about the Josh Allen jersey.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, yeah.
So you started like you just mentioned. You started hockey early. I introduced saying you play defense right now. You've been playing defense for as long as I've known you. Has it always been defense, or was there a point in time where you decided like, hey, this is the position for me?
Yeah, back when I was younger, I think I was about 6 years old. My first year of house league, I think it was. So I was pretty young then. I played forward my first year at house league, and then once we started playing the rep hockey, I think I got asked to come out and try out, and I think there was only defense spots left. So I ended up trying out for defense because that's pretty much all I had left, and I ended up making a team from there. And then I kind of just stuck with it the whole way. And I also actually my first year I played in Niagara, um, I was a rookie, so we had a lot of older defense in the lineup. And my coach wanted to keep me in the lineup because he just said I was a key player and he wanted me to keep me in too. So he put me up on forward for a couple games. I ended up scoring my first OHL goal on forward too. So that's pretty nice.
Oh man, that's actually wild. I feel like I know that, and I should have known that, but that's crazy that your first one came out of position.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. Oh, but we'll talk a little bit how you got there. Your draft year, you go undrafted, but the following year you were taken first round, 17th overall in the U18 draft to Kitchener Rangers. When you were passed on in the draft year, was there any point there where you could really maybe a little bit discouraged? You thought maybe hockey wasn't going to be the path for you, or did you use that as like a motivating piece to say like, hey, I got to work a little bit harder. I'm going to make sure that I prove people wrong.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think after the draft year and everyone getting passed up, all the minor midget players, they usually just like get encouraged and they don't want to push forward and try to get where they want to be, and they just say, "Ah, like I'm done, whatever." But right after the draft, I remember I just told my parents, like I'm not done. Like this isn't the end of me. Like I'm gonna keep trying my hardest and try to get there because that was a dream of mine as a kid to play in the OHL. And yeah, no, I just used it as motivation. And obviously, my minor midget year, I ended up playing with your team, the midget team. I got called up there, and it definitely got me a lot of exposure. And then the midget year, I had a pretty good year myself there, and had some good coaching. So that definitely helped me out a lot, and definitely got me a couple looks, and ended up getting drafted by Kitchener in the first round.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned it, right? Like that minor midget year for you, we ended up calling you up for playoffs and a little bit throughout the season as well. Did you find that helped your confidence at all? Like I know that you played on a pretty tough minor midget team. Did that help you? Were there some players on that team that maybe like really helped you out and helped your game?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the coaching was definitely a lot better for me. You guys definitely give me a lot of chances. I was playing with some older guys, bigger guys. It would have been 2 years, 3 years older than me, I think. And yeah, no, it definitely helped me become a better player. I had some defense on the team that definitely helped me, and they were giving me some pointers and stuff like that. And it definitely helped me become a better player. And even going to the OMHA championship too with you guys, that was just like helped me a lot. Had a lot of exposure. I had a lot of people there watching and stuff. So it definitely gave me a good chance. I had the right coaching, and I think that definitely gave me the next step to become a better player.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like you said, he came back the next season, had an absolute dominant year in midget. Um, and then the next season after that, you moved on to junior A, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So I went to Kitchener's camp, I think twice. So I went the year went to rookie camp, and then I went to main camp. End up saying that they didn't have a spot for me, which I kind of expected. It was nothing new, and I was like, okay, whatever. They want me to go play junior A or play junior B near Kitchener, so I just said I got a junior A team back home, so I'm gonna go play for. And obviously Rob Pearson, he reached out to me and told me, hey, look, I want to sign you. So I ended up playing in Whitby there, and I had a pretty solid year there. And then going back into Kitchener's camp at the end of the season again. Went to rookie camp. I had a pretty good rookie camp, and then I think they end up signing another import defense. So I kind of was like, yeah, this is kind of weird. Like, I kind of want to play in this league, but obviously they don't have a spot for me. So I end up calling the agent. He's like, yeah, I'll look around for you. End up calling around a couple teams. A couple teams has some interest. So he found a spot in Niagara that needs some D because they had a year they went for it the year before. So they had some guys leaving. So I had invite to Niagara, went to Niagara camp. And then during the camp, basically proved myself right away from the first day. They talked to me at the skate. They're like, like we really like you, we want to sign you, but Kitchener still owned my rights at that point, so they couldn't sign me yet. So they let the whole camp go by, and then end up playing better and stuff. And they really liked me and liked how physical I was playing and stuff. So they ended up talking to me. They said, "Hey, look, we're gonna call Kitchener. We're gonna try to get you traded, your rights traded here, but there's a couple other teams that actually Kitchener wants to trade you to because they're offering something better." So at that moment, I'm sitting there with my dad talking to AJ. I'm like, oh, like this sucks. Like I just want to play in this league, and I think I just want to play in Niagara too because all my family's from Niagara. And I was like, this is the spot. This is where I feel like this is where I want to roll. Like I'm like, this is awesome. So I'm on the phone. I'm like kind of panicking, like I don't want to get traded anywhere else. But I mean, whatever. I'll just play in this league. It's just a shot. So then I talked to my agent, and then he said, yeah, we'll trade you. So they end up trading me for like a 11th or 12th round pick or something like that. So I mean, it wasn't much, but I mean, I got to play in the league and got to improve myself. So it was always awesome.
It's awesome. It was a 10th round pick, by the way. So don't undercut yourself. It
Yeah.
wasn't 11th or 12th. It was a 10th.
Like,
Just as low, to be honest.
yeah, yeah.
But hey, I'm gonna just bring us back just a little bit here. We talked about you getting passed on in your minor midget year, but you were drafted in the U18. So leading up to that U18 draft, like, did you have a sense or a feeling that you were going to get drafted? And then, like, just to describe to us, like, what was it like when you finally found out, and how did you find out that you were drafted?
Yeah, no, it was before the draft. I definitely still didn't know if I was going to get drafted or not. I was pretty confident in myself. I had a good year, and I feel like just getting drafted was just like a foot in the door I kind of needed just to get my hockey, my career started in the OHL if I wanted to play there. And I talked to a couple teams before the draft. Sarnia, I think, called me right before the draft, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to Sarnia here or there. I think I talked to Sudbury too, but definitely I did not talk to Kitchener at all. Didn't talk to them at all. Just got a random phone call sitting there waiting for the draft. I thought Peterborough was going to draft me. They told me they're going to draft me in the first round, third overall. That went by, and I was like, oh, okay. These guys lied to me. Whatever, it happens. So then 17th pick rolled around, and I hear the phone ring. It was Kitchener. I'm like, I didn't even talk to these guys, but you know what? I'll take it. It was awesome. It was an unreal feeling. My dad was so super proud of me. We had a little moment, and yeah, that's where it all started. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and then Kitchener just kind of surprised you. Hey, who did Peterborough take
yeah,
instead of you? Do you remember?
uh, I honestly can't remember. I don't even know if he ended up playing for the team or not. I mean, a lot of major guys that get drafted
That was
don't even end
impressive,
up
though.
playing.
Normally, when somebody's like, "I'm gonna go here," and I think I'm gonna go there, they remember who took their spot. So the fact that you can forget that and not remember that
I mean,
is
I
really really
didn't care. You know
impressive.
what? They passed me up. I didn't even really care. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Let's move on,
So,
eh?
Pitcher took me. I was grateful for it. Give me a chance, and obviously I found my way in Niagara, so that was just perfect fit for me, and I was just happy to play in the league, and
For sure.
definitely worked out a little bit for me. So,
For sure. And then, like, yeah, then you get drafted, you play a season in junior A for Whippy, which you talked about. Obviously, had a great coach there in Rob Pearson. Always hear great things about him. But maybe talk about that season and, like, was that a big season to help you develop and get yourself to kind of where you got today?
yeah, for sure, and even just from playing midget with you guys, that helped me for sure. But then minor hockey to playing junior hockey, there's a big step, big difference. Guys are bigger, guys are faster, guys are stronger. So definitely that junior A year helped me out a lot. The first game coming in, I'm like, oh, they're definitely way faster. And I'm like, well, that's what I need though, if I want to improve and become a better player and play in there and end up going to the second round and losing to Wellington in the seventh game. Um, it definitely helped me out a lot. I had some playoff experience too, and I was playing some big minutes too. I had every game. But yeah, no, it definitely was a help, stepping stone to where I got and where I needed to be, and that helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember you having like a really, really good year with those guys, and I think we were talking before we hopped on here, and I couldn't remember, but you definitely remembered. You ended up playing in like some junior A big like tournament, Eastern Canada Cup or something like that, right?
Yeah, so I don't think they have it anymore, but they had the Eastern Canada Cup where the NOJHL had a couple teams, the OJ had a couple teams, CC and the Maritimes, they all had a bunch of teams, and they made it one tournament. It was like a pretty much like an all-star game for all the Eastern junior A teams in Canada, and yeah, I ended up playing in that. It was a pretty good tournament. I had a lot of fun. Stayed out there. I end up actually after that, I end up going to the Junior A Challenge Camp for Team Canada, and that was the year after I played for Whippy. So I went there, went to the camp. They really liked me and stuff. They were gonna take me on the team, but then I ended up going to Niagara. So I signed in Niagara, so then I couldn't end up playing the Junior A Challenge. But I mean, whatever. I'll take playing in the OHL over play. It would have been nice to play for Team Canada, but definitely it was a dream to play for in the OHL. So that was definitely better.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And probably by that choice, that decision, if you were to play junior A, like you don't know if maybe you don't even make it to the OHL after that, right? After a couple of seasons in junior, right? So
Yeah,
I think you made the right decision there, buddy. But yeah, and we you talked about it as well. Kitchener ends up, they don't have a spot for you. They end up trading you to Niagara for tenth rounder. Um, and this looked like it was right at the end of camp by the looks of it. Like the timing of it, was it like right at the end of camp that you got traded, or prior to
yeah.
camp?
So once the camp ended, they end up because they didn't have my rights. I was just there, kind of. It was almost like a loan or whatever. I didn't really know how it worked. They just said my agent was like, "You're going to Niagara," so I'm like, "All right, I'll go to camp there." So Kitchener stole my rights while I was at Niagara's camp. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the whole camp they liked me. After the first skate, they're like, "Oh yeah, like like we're looking to sign you. We need a defense here." So throughout the camp, I was pretty excited. I just wanted to keep playing better and better, so they liked me and I could fit in a spot really good on the team. And then near the end of the camp, yeah, they end up telling me on the last day, yeah, we traded you for your rights. So it was pretty emotional day for me and my dad, obviously. We really loved it. Even playing back home, I end up well, home for me, it was my hometown. That's where I was born. All my family lives. My grandma was super excited, and I end up when I played for Niagara, I lived with my grandma. So she was my billet for 3 years I was there.
Oh, so she was super pumped, and you were getting the best meals possible, I bet.
Best meals, yeah, and she was just having somebody there with her because she lives by herself, so it was good for her to have the company.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Obviously, like it was a great move for you to go and play the OHL. You're with the team for 3 years, 2 seasons though, right? One year was a COVID
Yeah,
season. Before you had to actually make that decision, like it, and let's be real, like obviously everybody wants to play in the OHL, but there's a decision that you have to make, right? Like, am I gonna go to the OHL and try to make this work? Or do I play junior A out and is there an NCAA opportunity for me? Now, did you have any NCAA interest or teams reaching out to you and trying to say, hey, like, don't go to the OHL, come play for us or anything like that?
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely had a couple teams reach out and talk to me. I was thinking about signing, or I was thinking about going to school if obviously I didn't play in the OHL that year. I was going to need to go back to school and probably pick up a couple more credits or something like that that I needed to go play down there. But yeah, no, my main focus was playing the OHL. If I would have played NCAA, whatever, I would have liked it too. It's pretty good hockey too. But yeah, I definitely wanted to stay back home. And at the time too, it was definitely a better choice for me too because my mom ended up getting sick and having cancer at the time too. So I just wanted to be as close as I could to her. And staying home was probably or close to home was probably the best decision for me, and it ended up working out. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. It's not, and I think again, like I think you made the right decision. I just know that sometimes that is a tough decision for a lot of players that end up like maybe not making the OHL their first year and like, start to find some success in junior and you're like, this is kind of nice. This is kind of nice. And knowing like if you go and make that jump to the O, all of a sudden you got to start working your ass off again and proving yourself again, right?
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, no, the OHL was a huge step from junior A. Even I was like when I got to junior A, it was quicker and guys were bigger. And then as soon as I jumped to the OHL, I was like, these guys are even bigger. And that's what made me a better player. I was playing on better teams or playing in better leagues. Even if I wasn't good at one point or at the start, it definitely improved and it definitely helped me to get better. And I definitely learned a lot. So definitely helped me out a lot.
yeah, Coach Patty's in the chat saying pretty tough life living at grandma's, eh, Betsy?
Yeah, no,
um,
she was my number one participant every single game. She was there with her tickets, and I could hear her with her bell up in the crowd. So she's definitely one of the biggest fans, one of the loudest too. So love that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That would have been great. And you know what's crazy? And I just learned it having this conversation with you. I didn't know you were originally from Niagara. I thought you were a Boneville
Yeah,
kid through and through, dude.
yeah. No, I was born in Niagara Falls, so my family pretty much lives there. And my dad actually we moved up here because he worked in Oshawa. Well, at first he worked in St. Catharines for General Motors,
Hmm.
and then he ended up getting transferred to Oshawa, and then he'd drive back and forth every day, and it was getting too tough. So he ended up looking for a house up here, and we ended up moving here when I was about 3 years old. So
Gotcha.
yeah, definitely. My grandma definitely loved me and living there too, because she didn't really get to see me that much because I was always here. So playing there and living with her. She was loving that.
No doubt, man. No doubt. My grandma would love that too, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Um,
sure. Yeah.
how did you feel like going into the OHL? So now you know the team said, listen, we're gonna bring you on. We're taking you. You're on this team. What was the initial like other than the excitement of actually playing? Was there any sort of nerves that you had? Like explain how you felt like the first time you stepped on the ice in the O.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely nerve-wracking, playing in front of a lot more fans because the OHL pulls in a lot more fans than the OJ does, but a lot more fans, a lot of diehard fans paying some money to come see you play, and definitely playing against some top NHL picks and stuff like that in the league. You're like, oh shit, like these guys are good, and going out there not wanting to mess up or anything like that. But I tried my hardest not to be too nervous and just play my game and play how I should. And yeah, I just got better and just basically went out and worked every day and just got better. So
Good, man. And when you got there as a rookie, was there any certain player that maybe like took you under their wing, showed you the kind of the ropes of the league, or even just like around the town or whatever?
yeah, I mean, all the guys, all the defense were good. Our captain was Akil Thomas at the time. He was a really good guy to have as a captain, really good leader. He was always there for all the guys if you ever need anything. But on the defense side, I had a roommate, Adrian Baraldo, I always roomed with. He ended up getting traded from Kingston to Niagara. He was always, helping me out, pointers and stuff like that, what to do better, what not to do, and stuff like that. So yeah, I room with him. We pretty good friends. I still talk to him to this day, and yeah, he definitely helped me out a lot, and so did a lot of the other D and all the other guys on the team. They're all good sports and stuff like that too. So yeah,
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And then yeah, like I know we talked about it, right? Like you had 3 seasons with them, but one of them was a COVID year. What'd you guys do during that COVID year?
um, believe it or not, I basically just stayed home and just trained and skated, and I actually worked in a factory for a year. So that's definitely not what I wanted to do, but I stayed home hoping that we would be returning to play at all because they kept pushing it back. They said like October, pushed it back to November, December, kept pushing it back. So I kept getting my hopes up, but I basically just worked out and trained the whole time. We didn't really have anything to do because we couldn't come in contact with any of our other teammates and stuff like that in Niagara. Everyone had to stay home. So I just basically waited out a full year. And I was kind of nervous throughout the whole year. Like, I don't want to go back to hockey and, be terrible. Wanted to, but I was training and keep myself up. So I had a pretty good year last year in Niagara. So whatever I did, it definitely worked.
It was because you worked at a factory during COVID. That's why.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, kept it
It
going.
wasn't all the
Uh,
hours that you put in at the fitness garage. It was just because
yeah,
you worked
yeah,
at the factory, buddy.
yeah,
Um, but the last season in Niagara, you were named one of the assistant captains early in the season, right? Right at the beginning there, I believe, and then captain later on in the season after the team had traded Butler away, who was the previous captain. What was your reaction to this? And like, did you need to change anything personally for yourself on like what you did on the ice, off the ice, when you took on this new responsibility?
yeah. Even at the start, being an assistant captain, it was an honor being a captain for an OHL team, and it was definitely. I didn't really change myself at all becoming the captain. You know what? That's what I told myself, and that's what a lot of captains do. They make mistakes where they try to change who they are. And that's definitely not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be there for all the guys, be a good leader, be a good role model, set examples for all the guys, and then becoming captain. All these younger guys looking up to me. I just, what, I was always there for them, nice to them, and did everything I could to try to help everyone to become a better player. And I think just staying myself, being myself, not really changing who I was just helped a lot. And I think that's what a lot of the guys noticed too. Like, so I had some guys say to me, was one of the best captains they ever had. And I was like, just being a good guy, I think was probably just the main part and just being a role model and giving them hope pointers and stuff like that. And obviously sticking up for them on the ice too. If I had their back whenever anything ever happened, I was always there and I had their back and they always knew that I was there and I would have done anything I could for them. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I remember when Patty's in the chat too, and when we saw that news, we were so proud to see, that you got that opportunity, and it just proves like we all knew that you were a great leader and a very mature player, and it proves to see that too. And I think even like your coach, I don't know the exact quote, but when he was asked about it, like mentioned like Dakota was like is a rock on this team. Like he's been our rock. Like he holds us together. He keeps the team really strong or whatever. So all those things, man, and like you definitely deserved it. And we were all so proud of you when we saw that, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was an unreal feeling, and like even a lot of the guys too. When they named it, they all cheered in the room, and it was just an unreal feeling. I kind of choked up a bit. It was just made me, I never really had that chance to become a captain, and I had guys cheer for me that they wanted me to be their leader. So it was an honor for me to be a captain, and just even playing in the league and then becoming a captain was just an unreal feeling. And hearing the guys cheer and they wanted me to be a leader, it was just unreal feeling. And definitely hit me deep.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And we talked about really like a lot of really emotional stuff, a lot of feelings you've gone through, some really great feelings. But I think we're gonna loosen it up here a little bit because there's something I need to know. And I remember I reached out to you about this, but I completely forget what the answer was. So we already talked about it. Your captain got traded away. That's how you got the seat. Now it was
Yeah,
sometime in February
yeah.
that you guys would go on to play Oshawa, and that's where
Mhm.
Butler went. And you were never a guy to like back down from anything, but you two both squared up in this game. So I need to know what's the story behind that. Did you guys have bad blood before you went to Oshawa? Why did you guys throw down in
No.
Oshawa? And maybe just give us a little bit of the story, background story, and then how the fight went, in your opinion.
Yeah, so there was definitely no bad blood there, but he ended up getting traded, I think, a couple weeks or maybe a month before that happened. And I was an assistant captain at the time. We didn't have a captain. So yeah, no, we're playing in Oshawa. Obviously, have a lot of my friends, and parents, and all that at the game. Like feeling pretty pumped up, whatever. But he comes down in the corner. I'm on the ice with one of our rookies, a younger guy on our team. He's in the corner, obviously sets himself up, gets buried by Butler in the corner. So I turn around, I notice it, and he's obviously one of my buddies. We were good buddies in Niagara, and he gets traded away. So I look at him, and I kind of like give him that look. I was like, "Let's go." And he looked back at me. He's like, "What? Like, are you serious?" Like he kind of gave me that look, and he didn't obviously didn't want it because we're buddies or whatever. But I was sticking up for one of my teammates, and he went up the ice, and I was still looking at him. I was like, "Let's go!" Like I'm waiting for you. So I waited for him at center ice, and I was shaking my gloves at him. So he turned around, came up the ice, and he ended up dropping his gloves, and we squared up. And he's definitely a big boy, and I know he can fight too. So it was a pretty decent fight. But yeah, like we're still buddies. There's no bad blood there. I was just sticking up for one of my rookies, and it just happened. I FaceTimed him after the game, talked to him about it. Like you're a tough guy, whatever. It was a good fight, and yeah, we laughed about it. But in the box too, we were chuckling about it too. But yeah, there's no bad blood there. We're just two buddies just going at it.
One
But we're,
thing,
we're throwing.
and who won the fight?
I mean, it was pretty even. I ended up taking him down at the end, but yeah, it was pretty. He got me with a couple. I got hit him with a couple too, but it was pretty even. But
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
say I actually like I hope it worked. I don't know. Again, like we're doing this video thing for the first time. I don't have enough screens to figure out what the heck's what's on the screen. I actually had the video of the screen the fight up on my stream. I'm pretty sure. If not, it was just a blank screen. But
yeah.
honestly, man, when you're throwing those bombs, you look like a scary dude, man. Like you look a little bit like the wires crossed there.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a switch that flips in my head where I just, I see red and I just start throwing, but half the time I don't even feel half the punches that hit me. So it's not a big deal, but I definitely feel them after. But yeah, in the moment, I just definitely a switch that flips and then just go off.
Yeah,
But
it looked like you
yeah,
realized
no,
once your helmet came off, it was time to actually throw. That's
oh
what
yeah,
I
for
saw.
sure. Yeah,
Oh man, but it's actually funny though, eh? Like in hockey, like how you guys can be really good buddies. You guys just played a bunch together. He was your captain. You were his assistant captain. You said your buddies off the ice, but in a hockey game, you can just throw bombs at each other. I think that's one of the coolest things in hockey.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, buddies off the ice, but in the game when it's time to play and time to go, you know what, you're going. So, and my coach loved it, and I ended up be named captain a couple weeks later. So I guess they liked it.
Fair enough. Any other stories that maybe give anyone a chuckle from the Niagara days before we move on to the E?
Uh, I mean, I got a lot of stories. I don't know, some of them aren't PG and stuff like that, but
So we'll leave those
definitely,
off. We'll leave those ones off.
yeah, we'll leave those out. Definitely, I had a guy on my team. He was my goalie actually, Tucker Tynan. He was just a character, and every day he comes to the rink and he's always just making people laugh, just the stuff he does. He One day, I got a couple stories about him. One day he comes in the rink and it was after a game, and I guess our defense wasn't playing that good. So he comes in and he's like, you know what? Like, I'll take all your positions. He's like, I could play in the NHL if I was a defense. Back home in the summer, he's talking about how he's a defense and plays D against all these NHL guys. And it all made us laugh. We obviously knew that, he gets a little nutty sometimes, but he's just ripping our defense apart. But yeah, and then one game, actually a couple games, I used to sit beside him too. So he'd lose his mind. He was losing in between periods sometimes. And I'm like, what, Talk's like, chill out, dude. Like it's gonna be all right. Like he's still got another two periods of hockey to play. And then all of a sudden I see him pull up his phone and then he puts his phone, props it up behind his pad, and he's gambling on tennis in between periods
In between
while
periods.
he's in net too. Yeah, while he's in net. So I'm like, dude, you gotta chill out with that. Like we're in a hockey game here, but I mean, he'd come out and he'd play his heart out, and he'd be just a rock in that. So I mean, whatever floats his boat. But yeah, no, he's definitely a character. I
Yeah,
love
no.
being around.
You know what? Like, I'll be honest. I think it's a brave person that's going to sit beside the goalie in the dressing room. That's just like that's a known thing. Like goalies they're a little different. We know that, right? So to be able to sit beside a goalie in the dressing room all the time, it's not an easy place to be in.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have a choice, but I mean, they're all my teammates, so I love them all, and definitely just made it work.
That's funny, man. That's hilarious though. He probably just mailed that game in, on his phone.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
dropping this
He
game.
loved his tennis parlays, though. That's what he loved. So.
Oh man, the tennis games. That's hilarious. No, that those are good ones, man. That's some good stuff. Now, were you on the team when that scary incident happened with him?
Oh yeah, that was my first year actually, and yeah, it was definitely a tough scene. Never seen anything like it in my life. It was you know what, I was actually at the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Bills game in Cincy a couple weeks ago when that Hamlin thing happened, and it was a very emotional thing, and even like it kind of reminded me a little bit of my goalie when he got cut. Um, he got cut pretty bad. It was like an innocent play. The goal, one of the guys slid in feet first and hit him in the above the knee, sliced his knee open, and he ended up bleeding everywhere. And I was on the bench, but I ended up coming out and bringing a bunch of Gatorade towels. But it was definitely not a scene I wanted to see. It will definitely stick with me the rest of my life. And he was one of my teammates, one of my brothers, so it was definitely an emotional day for all of our team. We sat there and we ended up going to the hospital after, but yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest times, and it definitely brought us together close as a group too. But all the guys being together and being emotional, but yeah, we were there for him, and he had a good recovery. He went trained, came back last year, and he had a pretty good start to the year. And I think we ended up trading him away, but yeah, it was definitely one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. I can't imagine that. And what an amazing job that training staff did to make sure that they
Oh,
took care of him, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, they were out there right away, and they were definitely played a huge part in saving his life. So, hats off to those guys, and I still talk to them sometimes. Our trainers, they're really good guys, and yeah, I always remember them for that. And Tucker's a good buddy, and I talk to him here and there. But yeah, no, it was definitely scary.
Yeah, for sure. Now, getting to the end of last year, we talked about decisions you've had to make. You've had to make that decision to move from junior to the OHL or focus on NCAA. Now you got another decision. You got another decision that involves school or hockey. Because I know I gave you a call and I was like, hey, maybe we're going to get this guy. Maybe I can get him to come to Ontario Tech. He's my boy. There's no way he's going to say no to me. And I remember you saying like how much your phone has been blowing up all season long with all these Canadian universities trying to get you to join them. So were you ever close to making the decision to go U Sports over the coast?
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely thinking about it. Halfway through the season, I started getting, I think, almost every single U Sports uh, university called me and they wanted me to come there or whatever. And I was also getting calls from a lot of ECHL teams too, and I had ECHL teams wanting to sign me, and they tell me that they're going to get me play in the A and stuff like that too. So it was a tough time for me. Had to make some decisions. I was thinking about playing youth sports, but definitely what I wanted to do was just try to play pro. And like I said before, a part of my game is just playing with better guys and having some better competition and try to work my way up as much as I can. So I thought pro would be the best for me and to hop right in it and play with some big, stronger guys and try to work my way up. So that's the decision I made was to play in EC for Cincinnati.
Nice. Now, if you were gonna go U Sports, you were gonna come play for me, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, stay at home,
Stay
play
home,
for
play for your
you.
home-ish town team, and then I would
Yeah,
have left
yeah.
anyways because I'm not coaching there this year, so I would have left you alone.
Yeah.
No, that I mean, again, like we're all faced with decisions in our life. The first decision you made was really good, and I think this is a great decision too, right? You're having a great season. I know it looks like you're playing a bunch of minutes now. What was that transition like going from the OHL, major junior, which is very competitive, young, right? Like you were the oldest age group, I think, at that point. What was that like now going to professional hockey and playing in the coast? Like, what was the biggest difference that you felt from one league to the other?
Definitely just guys, the smarter plays, not having as much time. So I think in the OHL, you know what, you have a lot of inexperienced rookies and younger guys that haven't played at a high level like that in a while, just coming out of minor hockey. So definitely the time, and there's definitely a lot of bigger guys too. They'll throw some harder hits. You just gotta keep your eyes open for that too. But just the time, you know what, like I had so much time. I feel like now looking back at it when I was playing the OHL, at the time you don't think that you have that much time, but the playing at a higher level, you're playing against bigger guys that are just smarter and know what to do. You definitely don't have as much time. So I think that's definitely the biggest thing right now in the EC. But yeah.
Fair enough. And why Cincinnati?
I had a decision to make, and I think I talked to them the most last year. I had a guy on my team that played Niagara. His uncle is my coach now, so he ended up reaching out to me, or he reached out to him, and then he told me, hey, like he's gonna call you tonight. I give him your number, or whatever. So I talked to him a bunch, and I think he gave me the best offer, and we had a pretty good team this year too, and I was fitting in pretty good at the start of the year until I got hurt there. But um, I just think that I think they have a nice fan base. You got a pretty big rink, good place to play, good spot. You know what? They had a good team this year, so I just anything to help me get better and move forward is just definitely what I was looking for. So definitely I want to get back after my injury is over and just try to be the best I can, just get better.
That's awesome. And I know, like, you think of the coast, like everyone's competing like hard. Like guys are trying to get to the AHL, guys are trying to hold on to their jobs in the East Coast. Like I feel like there's a lot of like transactions between leagues or in and out of the league itself. Like players are in and out all the time. Does that create any sort of hostile environment there in the dressing room, or do you got like a really good group of guys that are always, maybe super supportive with each other? What's the dressing room like with you guys?
Yeah, you know what? I definitely think that on some teams that could be an issue with some guys, not even wanting to be in the coast, just being in the A or the NHL. But I mean, we got a pretty good group of guys in Cincinnati. You know what? Everyone's pretty good to each other, and they don't think they're really better than anyone else. I think they're just all like good guys, and I think, yeah, definitely there's some problems probably on other teams, but our team, I think most of the guys are just, you know what? They're just happy to play hockey and happy to be there, and obviously, we have some guys going up and down too, but yeah, I don't really see that issue on my team. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You guys having a lot of fun? Like, you enjoying it?
yeah, it's pretty good. We have a good group of guys that go out and do stuff. I went to Bengals versus Ravens game the other day with a guy on my team. So there's we all go to the bars and stuff like that and have fun with each other and do a lot of stuff. So yeah, we have a good group of guys. It's a lot of fun. Just playing hockey for a living pretty much and just you have the rest of the day off, and hang out with the guys and hang out, play some video games, NHL, whatever. But yeah, that's fun. I like it.
Nice, man. I know that's good. Any PG stories in your early ECHL career that you can share with the show today?
Um, Not that I can think of right now. Um, the coast is definitely um, it's a place. I'll tell you that for free. I think just yeah, I don't even know. I don't have any really stories that would be interesting right now.
Yeah, it's early. It's early, right? First
Yeah,
season.
it's early, and yeah, I've been out for a couple weeks too, so I didn't want to get eyes. But
Yeah,
there's
when are
definitely
you heading
some.
back?
I'm heading back on next Monday, so
All-Star
a little
break, you
bit of
said,
time back.
right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
off and all start break. So
Didn't make the All-Star team in your first year, eh?
we crack at 11 games. Like, it's not enough. So
Right on, man. Right on. All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much your hockey career. We talked a lot about that, and I appreciate you doing that. Now, normally my guests on this show are gamers. They're part of this NHL community that I play in, and we've been talking. You play NHL.
oh yeah, yeah,
Now, can you
big time.
play as yourself in the game? Are you in the game?
I Yeah, I'm in the game. Yeah. I don't have a hockey ultimate team card this year because it's my first year on the coast, but I am on the roster for the Cyclones if you go and play now, I think. But I don't have a hot card this year. So the past couple of years, I've had my own 99 overall hockey ultimate team card on myself on the back end. But yeah, this year I couldn't end up getting one because I don't have a card. I don't know why, but
Oh, I guess you would
yeah,
have had a card when you were in Niagara then.
yeah,
So you've
yeah,
been
I
able to
did.
play as
I've
yourself for
been
a while.
yeah, I've been in the past 3 or 4 NHLs, in it. So
Let's go.
I'm playing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
guys don't like playing against the other
So
team because
so you get your hot card next season. What's your rating gonna be?
my rating. Um,
What rating of the game gonna give
Probably
you?
the game right now. I don't. I think it's at like a 60, 68 maybe. I don't know. Maybe a little bit less, 65. But I'd probably say like close to 68 maybe around
Right.
there.
68. Lock it in next season. Dakota Betts, Cincinnati Cyclones.
If you look on there, I think it will tell you what the rating is, but there's no hockey.
Next season, hot card. You gotta have a hot card. I don't care
Yeah,
about the play now stuff. You need to have a
I'll
hot
just get
card.
my nine. We'll get my 99 overall card from EA. So
99
I
overall
don't
card.
I
What
don't
a
have to work.
joke. Not a chance. Ever. 77. 77 would be a good rating for you.
77.
It's your number.
You're being a little bit generous.
It's your number.
Yeah. There you go.
I feel
Yeah.
like they should just do that for everybody. Just give them their number. Nobody could get Wayne Grant. Nobody could have a 99 ever, except for
Yeah.
Wayner.
There you go. There you
But
go.
but yeah. So you play the game. Do you play with your buddies? What are you playing on? What system? What modes do you like to play the most?
Yeah. So I'm on PlayStation, PS4. I play Hockey Ultimate Team and ESHL a lot. So ESHL is kind of like a nightly thing for me, actually. And one of my buddies that played on Niagara with me, Isaac Enright. But yeah, I stick to playing hot too here and there. I haven't been playing as much recently because I've had the concussion, so I'm trying to take it easy on the video games. But
It's probably a
yeah,
good call.
Hockey Ultimate. I think my team's at like an 89 overall right now on hot, so it's not too bad.
Not good enough.
Not good enough
No,
for
people spend so much
them.
money. They have like 98, 96 overall.
I don't spend money on my team.
I
I'm not.
wouldn't.
I'm not that much of a team.
And sorry, what did you say? What console are you on right now?
PS4.
PS4. So not new gen.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Is PS4
No.
cross-platform with Xbox new gen?
You can. You can. No. Yeah, you can play with PS5 guys, but
Okay.
you can't play against them. So like, or play with them. Sorry, you can play. So I play against them, right? You probably play against PlayStation guys too,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you can't play with Xbox guys, really,
You,
which
you got to
sucks.
get the
I
you got to get the new gen, buddy. You got to get the new gen,
I'm trying to save up those ECHL paychecks.
and then we can yeah, bet you are, and then we can play a game against each other.
Yeah,
You can learn what ESHL is actually about, and maybe you join the league that we're in, play in the league, just come play a couple games against some guys. Um,
Mhm.
it's definitely
Would
not
be
pickup
fun.
hockey like you're used to right now with your East buddies. East
Yeah. No, I think we're in Div 2, so we're not doing too bad.
Div 2. Look at you go, eh? That's sweet. That's sweet. But no, that's sweet, man. And you know what? I really do appreciate you hopping on today. I know again, like we've been trying to make this work for a while. We've always had a pretty good relationship after coaching, kind of kept in touch. So appreciate you hopping on here. Now, I am gonna say to the chat, if there is anybody that has any questions for Betsy, he did say he's willing to answer some questions if there is any. Um, I don't always get questions from guys, but if there's any questions in the chat, I'll ask them. And I always have my guests give them the opportunity to ask me a question of their choice. So I'm going to
Ask me a
let you ask
question.
that question now while the chat tries to figure out if they have any questions or not.
All right. Well, we were just talking about NHL there. Do you think you could beat me in a game of NHL? Here's my question for you.
I think I would. So I'll tell you this. I've been playing a lot of like versus and hut lately.
Yeah.
I'm actually nasty at the game, but I can't score goals, man. I can't score goals. So I'm going into like versus
I'm a
matches
goal scorer.
and getting like I don't know, like call it like 15 minutes time on attack to some other team's 3 and like losing 6-1 because I can't score goals. I just hold the puck. I don't score goals, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I would beat you. I don't think you have a chance.
We're gonna have to try that one day.
A hundred
I'm a goal
percent.
scorer. So
I think we have to do that. Like I don't know, and chat, you guys can confirm. Like I don't know, like can I play a PS4 player like with being series like the new gen on Xbox? Do we have that cross platform? I don't know. I think it has to be
yeah,
PS5.
I think so.
So when you start making more money in the coast, then maybe you can buy a PS5 and then I can play
Yeah.
against you. But for now, you keep playing. That's why you're so good. If you're playing old gen, like you're just playing like trash players that aren't willing to get new gen.
No, I'm playing against like PS5 guys, and I can see because you can see it when you're playing. You can see if they're playing on the new gen Xbox or they're playing it or you're playing against PS5 guys.
Okay, so let me tell
So
you
I
this.
mean,
Let me tell you this, Betsy.
it,
So the league that I play in, and I know you don't know a ton about it. I know it probably maybe even sounds silly to some like guys like you being like, oh my god, you guys playing an NHL league. We have both sides. We have Xbox and we have PSN. So the way this league works, it's called leaguegaming.com. There's an NHL, there's an AHL, and there's a CHL. So the best players obviously are in the NHL. This season they just announced cross-platform playing so that Xbox teams could play PSN teams. So what they did is in the NHL, they did a conference in Xbox and they did a conference in PSN. So the winners of those played for the Stanley Cup. The Xbox team won 4-0. Swept it. It was easy. PSN is so inferior to Xbox. Xbox up here, PSN down here. There's another league in the CHL. They do a little World Juniors tournament for the teams that don't make the cut. They introduced PSN teams to the Xbox teams. They just played each other in a cross-platform series, and out of the, I believe, there was 4 series. Best out of 5. A PSN team won 1 game. The rest were sweeps. Wasn't a chance. So I don't want to hear, oh, I'm playing PSN guys. You don't have a chance against us Xbox guys, man. I'm sorry.
I play against Xbox guys every day, so I don't know. Maybe you do play a lot, so
I
maybe you
do.
could crush me, but
I do. I
yeah.
do. All right, I'm gonna go through this chat here and see what we got. If there's any questions here, I know I saw one comment a little bit earlier. So the one guy here, RTC, was the one that said, your MVP. He said keep her going. Next up, Americans then to. Oh, he said next up to go up to the AHL, make the Sabres, just like Tage Thompson did. So he said keep it up, buddy. So that's not a question. That's just a comment. One other guy mentioned that we talked about Pearson. He said I remember Rob Pearson from his rookie year with the Leafs. Fuck, I'm old is what he said. Let's see here. A. Grigley said that tell him I said the best two-way player of all time was Super Mario. So Mario Lemieux, do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he was a pretty solid guy, like, pretty big guy, and he definitely was good on D and offense. So, I mean, I agree with that statement too.
Yeah, the same guy also said that like you'll beat me in NHL. So I don't know if I can trust what he says. He also asked, "Will you come to the Flyers? They need
You're right.
defense."
Yeah, maybe I'll wake my way up to the Flyers, hanging with Gritty.
There you go. Hang out with Gritty. That's all you'd be doing, actually, sitting in the stands with the fucking mascot. Um,
Yeah.
one of the guys, here's a serious question. What type of players do you look up to or motivate you to realize your dream of making the show?
Um, I don't know if there's any specific guys, but just hardworking guys, that show up every night. They're committed to the game, good leaders, and just can play the game two-way. Obviously, defense and offense. I think that's what you need a lot of the time. Is you got to be good on defense, and have some offensive skill too. So, yeah, I definitely look up to some guys like that. And I know, obviously, I'm a Leafs fan, so I watch a lot of Leafs games. I like the way Morgan Riley plays, and sometimes try to model myself after him. So, yeah,
There you go. That's awesome. Morgan Riley is a player that motivates you.
a
That's
little bit,
sweet.
yeah, in a
Is
way.
he your favorite player then?
No, no, definitely not my favorite player. I don't even know if I have I haven't. You know what? When you play a lot of hockey, you don't watch as much as sometimes. So, I mean, I think I obviously just a classic Leafs fan. I like Matthews. Probably pretty solid player. I like Muzzin on the back end too, but I don't really have a favorite player
What about when you were a kid?
when I was a kid. I like Matt Sundin when I was a kid. Classic Leafs player.
Fuck, buddy. Leafs all the way, eh? You're getting deep there too in
Yeah.
Muzzin. Yeah, like I kind of like Muzzin, fourth line defenseman on the Leafs over
I
all
don't
the
know. He
other
was pretty
studs in the
slow.
league. What about like Kale McCarr? What do you see when
He-
you look at Kale McCarr play defense?
yeah, you know what? That kid's just unreal. I remember watching him play junior A. I think he played in what do they call that? What's the junior A championship called? It used to be
Like,
called the RBC. No,
no, it's not the RBC. RBC
yeah,
was the midget.
RBC.
Wait,
No, I thought it
no,
was called.
RBC, RBC. Yeah, yeah, RBC.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's RBC Cup. He played in Coburg and he played for Brooks Bandits. And I saw him play. I was like, this kid's gonna be unreal. And definitely he can wheel up the ice. He's fast on the blue line, just making some unreal plays. And he's a pretty solid defender too. So yeah, he's definitely a player that you can look up to and model your game after. But I'm definitely not modeling my game after that because I'm not as skilled as he is. So
Not yet, Betsy. Not yet.
yeah, not yet.
Maybe one day. Oh man,
Yeah,
sweet, sweet. Yeah, Patty was confirming RBC and Coburg. Patty would know
yeah,
that too. I'm sure Pat went to a couple games. I remember that actually. Coburg won that, didn't they? That
yeah,
was the year
yeah. They
Coburg
did.
won. They hosted and they won. They
Yeah,
they got knocked out, I think, in the first or second round in playoffs. Ended up
yeah,
hosting and
yeah.
winning in OT. Look, Patty
Yeah.
knows. Patty knows. He just said in OT. So,
Yeah,
um,
Patty's the famous guy. Famous Goose. Goose is a big stats guy.
big, big stats guy. Big stats guy. But, yeah, I think that was all the questions that showed up in the chat. There really wasn't much, but I love the question asked about like the player that motivates you. I should have probably had that
Yeah.
on my list to ask you. So, thanks for that
There
question.
you go. Next time. Yeah,
Next
they're new.
time. Now I got to add that one in. Yeah, 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 for sure. I'll add that in for the next guest. Not for you. You were my trial live guest on video. First IRL in real life player that I've had on my show. I will say it again. I do
Sure.
appreciate you hopping on, taking the time today, buddy. Like I said, I know we've been trying to work it out for a while, and you have a really busy schedule. So thank you so much for joining today.
No worries. It was awesome to be on here, and hopefully you can get some more guys on here to work it up a little bit.
Working on it, working on it. I think I got a couple others lined up, and then maybe like if I have to reach out, I'll be like, yo, Betsy, find somebody for me. You gotta know some
No,
guys.
oh yeah, for
Find
sure.
find me some
Well,
guys.
get Yetman on here next maybe.
Yo, I gotta get Yetman. Yetman is definitely on my list to get on the show. And then
Yeah,
a couple other guys too. But I like I said, I think I was talking to you. I saw Yetzi in Belleville there a couple weekends ago. But he's
yeah,
back down on the coast. So I wish I could catch a game between you guys. That'd be hilarious.
yeah. I know. It just sucks that there's not really any close teams here. I think what 12 hours would be the closest.
Ooh,
No,
yeah, I don't know.
Toledo.
Toledo. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't see myself coming down there to Toledo to
I
watch
wouldn't
the
even.
hockey game.
I wouldn't go to Toledo.
I'll watch you when I'll watch you when you make the AHL and you're in Toronto or Belleville. All right, how about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Right on, buddy. All right, man. Well, again, I do appreciate you for hopping on. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did, and I know this is like a really formal conversation for us to have. Love the stories. Loved you sharing your story. On how you got to where you are today, and just keep up the hard work, buddy. And like I said, I really do hope that I get to see you playing in an AHL game here shortly. Get well. I know you're hurt right now. Hopefully that injury, you can figure that out here shortly and you're back on the ice soon. And best of luck rest of the season, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. It was a blast. I had a blast talking to you. It was good catching up with you too. So
Awesome, buddy.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right, man.
Hope
Well,
you take care.
all the best. Take care, pal.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining today in my trial interview, live interview. Yeah, thanks for hopping in, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd love to hear some feedback in my Discord, or even on my forum post on LG. It was great having a live hockey player on here too, and I do have plans to do some more, so I definitely would love to hear some of the feedback. Those who are playing in the Mem Cup tonight, best of luck. AHL finals tonight too. WJC is going tonight. Lots of hockey to be watched on LG. So best of luck to everybody that's still playing. New season's around the corner. Sounds like it is pushed out 1 week. Go sign up. It's only pushed out a week because we're not signed up. Let's get signed up. Let's get those games going because I can't wait to get next season going. But thank you again for everybody. Have a great night, and we will talk soon. Take care.